Hello YouTube, I hope everybody's doing great. I want to show you something that I did make for my new Canon camera that I purchased solely, almost solely, to take videos and pictures of my Neo clock that I put up on Kickstarter. The campaign is rolling, or actually standing still, so I do need your help to make it a successful campaign this time. So please do check it out. The link is in the description down there, and I don't wanna go into it. If you're interested in a clock, as you can see, it has Neopixels, it has sound, it does dim, it does mute, it does adjust for daylight savings time. You only set it up once, and it does get the time from an NTP server. It uses the ESP32S3. What else? It has an RTC chip with backup battery, so even if your Wi-Fi goes down, the clock keeps ticking. So even if you're not interested, if you know somebody who might like clocks, please share the video or the link. I would greatly appreciate it. So now back to my camera. This is a Canon EOS R50, and it's a pretty popular camera. And of course, if I buy something, I like to put accessories on there or make it better to use or safer to use. So I bought this cage from Newer, if that's pronounced like that. I bought it myself, so it's not sponsored. Nothing is sponsored here in this video. So, and when I first saw the camera, and I know they said it's small, it's a smaller form factor of a camera, and I do have pretty small hands, but when I saw it, I was almost afraid at how small it was. So, and if you put a cage on there, the grip gets bigger, and right now it's perfect to hold, perfect to use. There's also another cage from company Small Rig, but that goes over these buttons, and that part is pretty high, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I went with this one, and I'm glad I did. The cage is really great. It has an Acra Swiss, or is it Arca Swiss? I always mix them up. Mount on the bottom, and I did 3D print some mounts. I also bought one. That one I'm gonna put on a slider that I'm gonna build for this camera. And I was going to buy a grip for the left side, and the ones I saw, they start around $30 and go up into hundreds, and but they're attached. They have like a when they're attached, they're further away from the camera, and you hold the grip like that, and I just didn't like the look of it. And I started searching on the internet for excuse me, for 3D print files for grips, and then I found this one. Well, not this one. I found this one. This is actually a grip for the right side. I did mirror it, and it has also attachment on the bottom. It's kind of like an L. You mount it from the bottom to the camera. Let me mute that. I don't want you to get all upset about the TikTok sound. So anyway, this is the mirrored version without a hole. There was no hole in it. And it was quite small, and of course on the wrong side. So I did cut that piece off and printed it, mirrored it, and printed it for the left side. And it's really tiny. I mean, there's almost 2 fingers not gripping it correctly. So then I started editing it, and I came up with these guys, and each of them, and you can see how much bigger I made it, and each of them did evolve. And what I also wanted to share here, I found a new setting for the Cura slicer, which is called fuzzy skin. And as you can see, it's not smooth, and it does hide the layer lines. Normally you have it like that, and this one looks so much nicer and is actually grippier. I can't get enough light, I'm too far back with the camera. And anyway, so I did start using that fuzzy skin. I ticked it in the experimental settings in Cura, and I added, where's the small one? The small one was like that, had no hole, and I added this part here to make it further away from the lens. And anyway, it had here, it was square, and yeah, you can actually not see much the changes, but I gradually made changes to it till I ended up with this one. And here you can see it has this rounded, it's rounded there because when you hold it like that, your thumb lays on there. On this one was poking into your lower thumb. So I did that, and I made the correct space in between here so your fingers can grab the camera, like on this side. And this is as comfortable as this side. On this side I can grab it with 4 fingers, but this one is a little bigger, and you can grab it and you can really hold the camera very steady. So that's what I did. And oh, since the camera has a 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch screw holes, that's the standard in photography, I would say. I didn't have any screws like that. Well, I did, but they were hexagon head, and they were too long. So I did put the screw into my lathe and cut it round, and then I took a file and filed a slot in there so I can use a regular straight screwdriver. The slot wasn't enough for the tool that came with the cage, that's wider, so but that didn't matter. I will order some screws, but I just had to get these to be able to put the grip on there. So, and then it was too long as well, so I put these nuts on here, which gave me the perfect length I needed, and cut this down with my belt sander that I built. You can also find that video in my collection of videos if you're interested. So I'm building huge machines, and then I cut down a bolt, but it helps me. It took like 30-45 seconds to get this down, and I went all the way to the edge of the nut here and had a perfect cut. Was it this side? Yeah, it's this side. Can't see it on the camera. So anyway, that's the story with the screws that I have in here right now, or for now. And but as much as I like the it's of course ABS, not PLA. Something ABS is much better for use on outside with UV light and whatnot. But it really came out great. I did it a little elevated, about I think 3 or 4 millimeters from all the way from the bottom, so I can easily on my tripod slide in the mount without having it too loose. And once you tighten it up, it's not going anywhere. And I will still reprint these with the fuzzy skin on there, so it matches better and it doesn't look that. Also, it does have some imperfections, I don't know why, but maybe those will be covered with the fuzzy skin. The clamp that I ordered has a quick release lever, because I really don't like having screws on here that you have really screw down, and with a quick release lever it's much faster to take the camera in and out or change to a tripod or slider or whatever. And but I'm still glad that I have these printed. Saves me money. They started around $30 more or less, and the basic ones with the screws. And anyway, if you're interested, leave a comment and I'll show you and leave your links for the slider that I for the clamp that I ordered. The cage I was lucky enough to get here in, at home. I didn't have to have it to order it from China. Nothing wrong with ordering from China, but it just takes too long. And if there's anything wrong with it, you're stuck with it. You cannot return it easily. And anyway, so I really like this. So if anybody's interested, let me know. Oh, I was gonna say, I start saying something and then I get distracted by myself. As much as I love the 3D printed one, I will order or let a company manufactured in CNC cut from aluminum, black anodized of course. And I checked, the prices are around $45–50, at least at one company. The other ones I did not receive my quote yet, so I will have that in aluminum as well. And I'm thinking maybe selling it as an aluminum version. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. I don't know how many people have this camera. I don't know how many. They probably have different grips already and all build up the cage with whatever you want, with lights and monitors and microphones and whatnot. And anyway, I just wanted to show you this, and there is also the opportunity, of course, to remind me or tell you about my Neo clock. So again, if you know somebody that likes clock, please do let them know. And I want to show you one feature. You don't have to look at this motif, which is gold, by the way. It's oriental motif. I have these designs that if you like, you can order with it. This one looks actually very nice with the colorful LEDs. Or you can take any picture of yours, cut it round and put it in between here, between the PCB and the acrylic, the front acrylic. So you can customize the clock whichever way you want. You can even, for the car guys, put your car logo in there, and you can use a mirror in there. I will have that option as well. This just has the protection film on there, and you can use it as a mirror. So you can really customize the clock to whichever way you want. I'm looking around here and talking at the same time, sorry about that. So, and for all people who are wondering what this is a magnetic scroll wheel with a ceramic bearing, and you will be able to use it for, so far I have 3 different versions that you can use it for. One is for scrolling, one is for volume, and one is for YouTube video scrolling back and forth. And I often, of course, watch YouTube videos, and to go if I want looking something or want to quickly see what's going on, what's happening, I can just quickly scroll with this knob. It has a much finer scrolling than your mouse, which always goes only 3 lines at a time on a web page, for example. But you can use it when you're coding and you have a very long code. You can nicely scroll up and down in the code, but I will make a separate video for that. So this was for the left hand side grip for the Canon. Of course you could, oh, this is by the way for the, I think it's called the NATO clamp. It has a NATO clamp in here, and so you can use it for other cameras as well. It doesn't have to be for the Canon. You know, if you don't like the grips that are extending too much, and you hold like that, and then the camera can still move like that. I mean, of course, if you're gripping it real tight, it's not gonna move. But this is really a very nice, comfortable grip, and everybody who has these cameras know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this was it. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody, and till later.